This AI resume writing business made $4,200 in 1 month using free AI tools, no credentials, and no prior clients. Job seekers are out there and willing to pay top dollar for resumes that could get them hired, especially when they know their resume isn't even making it past the ATS. That's the applicant tracking system that filters out about 75% of applicants before a human ever sees it. Today, I'm going to show you how to set up a freelance profile and use AI to deliver professional resumes and cover letters in minutes. All right, now let's get stuck right in here, shall we? You've seen the post. Someone's out there making $3,000 a month writing resumes, and another person charged $150 per resume, and they're doing 5 a week, and they're working from their phone? What? Yeah. What you haven't seen is the one critical thing they will not tell you. The thing that separates the ones making real money from the ones who are just posting about making money. And most people think building a resume agency with AI is about using ChatGPT or whatever model you choose really, really well. It's not. It's about something a little stranger. It's about becoming invisible. That's the word I'm going to pick right here. But let's talk about what happened last month. There's this guy, let's call him Marcus, no followers, no credentials, and no design background. And he launched a resume service using only free AI tools. We're talking Claude, ChatGPT, the Canva free tier, and Grammarly. In his first week, he made $840. Right? That's not going to change the world, but in his fourth week, $4,200. Yeah. And the weird part, he wasn't a smarter marketer. His resumes weren't prettier than the competition, but his process, that was bulletproof. And the thing no one mentions is that once you build it right, you stop having to work. He didn't list on Fiverr or Upwork first. Nope, he went direct. And that's part of why I think it worked. Let's walk through exactly how this works, not the fantasy version, but the actual version. You start by understanding what your clients actually want, not what they think they want, what they're really desperate for. Someone applying to a marketing role has spent 6 months sewing their resume at companies, and they've gotten rejected 47 times, and mostly by the ATS software before a hiring manager even glances at their name. They don't care about the fancy fonts or the clever wordplay that you might put into a resume. They care about one thing: callbacks and interviews. They want to know if you can do the one thing that really matters, and that is getting around and through the ATS system, the application tracking system, so that they land in front of a real person. And here's where AI changes everything. And it's also where most people, I think, are getting it wrong. ChatGPT alone can't write a great resume, but ChatGPT plus a good system, that can. You need to build a diagnostic step first. Before you touch their resume, you need to ask them some specific questions. What role are you targeting? What industry? What's their seniority? What's their biggest achievement? And most importantly, where are they weak? Did they get fired? Is there a bad gap in their work history? And do they have some wrong industry backgrounds? Okay, now this is the information gap. This is the space between their current resume and the one that could potentially get them hired. The client pays you because they can't see that gap clearly. It's one of those I'm too close to the problem situations, right? They're too close to their own story, and they definitely can't see how to reframe their experience using the right action verbs and power words that both the ATS system and the human readers are going to respond to. Now, you can use AI as an amplifier. You feed ChatGPT or whatever LLM you choose this information in a very specific way, not write me a resume. That's useless. Instead, you're going to write something like this. I'm a project manager with 5 years of experience. I'm applying to tech companies, but my background is in retail operations. I need to bridge that gap. Here are my top 3 wins. Reframe them using strong action verbs to speak to software development teams and pass ATS keyword filters, right? Press enter and watch what happens. The AI doesn't hallucinate. It pattern matches. It finds the signal inside the noise. How about a project manager who optimizes inventory systems? That's exactly what scaling software requires. A retail person who trains teams. That's leadership. That's culture building. Same skills, different language, okay? And this is the first invisible part. Most resume writers, including most people selling ChatGPT resume services, they're going to charge about, $50 to $100 per resume, and they think they're doing fine. And hey, more power to them. The people making real life-changing money, they're not charging more, they're charging per outcome. Some charge $50. Some charge $150. The difference isn't the quality of the writing. The difference is the confidence in the system. Because here's what happens next. You build a template library, not a generic template, a system. You create 12 different resume formats optimized for different industries. Tech needs white space and metric-heavy bullet points. Finance needs prestige and numbers. Creative fields need visual breathing space. Nonprofit needs mission alignment and community impact. You do this once, with AI's help, of course. You tell Claude, write me 5 different resume variations for a product manager. One optimized for a Series B startup, one for a FANG company, F-A-A-N-G, one for a bootstrapped consultancy, one for a corporate tech team, and one for nonprofits. Make them structurally different, not just the content, the format, the emphasis, the tone, and make sure each version is ATS optimized with the right power words for that sector. Press enter and watch the magic happen. And then you go in, you'll hear me say this all the time, you go in and refine them, you test them, and you watch what lands. If you do this within about 2 weeks, you will have a system that's better than 90% of the professional resume writers that are out there right now. And I'm talking about including the certified resume writers charging 10 times as much. But here's the darker part. This is the part that makes money. You start packaging this. You create a simple landing page. You can have AI do that too. Card is free. And you can have a clean professional card landing page live in under an hour. But you put on one simple offer. Don't hear all this stuff. You put on one simple offer. Don't overcomplicate this. Make it very easy for them to understand. Resume rewrite, $79 resume service, 48-hour turnaround, ATS optimized for your industry. You don't target everyone. You target accountants if tax season is coming because they're panicked and they need jobs and they will pay. Or maybe you decide you're going to target an industry you're very comfortable with, you're very familiar with, so you know you can lean in a bit more. Or you target laid off tech workers. There's thousands of them out there and they're desperate. They're searching on Indeed and ZipRecruiter and they're not getting results. You find them on LinkedIn. You reach out personally and say, hey, I help engineers transition resumes when they're job searching. Most people don't know that their resume is being blocked by some of the ATS software out there before a human ever even gets a chance to read it. And the same role described 3 different ways, gets 3 different response rates. Would you like me to show you? Some say yes. Some will just ignore you, okay? You charge them $79 for that rewrite. You spend 45 minutes using your system. You plug their info into Claude, refine it with ChatGPT, format it with Canva, check it with Grammarly, and then deliver it via PDF. Bing, bang, boom. You're done. Your cost, $0. Okay, well, there's your time, 45 minutes. Your profit, $79. $79 for 45 minutes is pretty decent by many folks' standards. But before you ask, yes, you could also list a $79 resume service on Fiverr or Upwork to get your first clients. The margins are slightly lower because, there's the platform fees, but the inbound traffic is kind of built in, which is what you're paying for with those platform fees. Marcus chose the direct route. Both of them work. The system really is what I'm trying to pitch you on here because the system is what matters. But this is where everyone stops and thinks they're done, but they're not. The invisible thing that separates pocket change for a month from life-changing money every single month is what I'm about to tell you next. You start by systematizing the questions you're going to ask your clients. You do something like you create a simple intake form. Google Forms is free. You ask them 15 specific questions, their target role, industry, seniority, 3 biggest achievements, any gaps or red flags, salary expectations, any certifications or skills that they perhaps are underselling. You can use Google Sheets to track every single response, spot some patterns, and build a database of what's working. They fill it out. It takes them maybe 10 minutes. That saves you 30 minutes of back and forth questions. Now your actual work time drops to maybe about 25 minutes. So your profit per hour goes up. Right? Okay. And then something stranger happens. You notice patterns. Maybe 40% of your accountants have CPA certifications they're burying down in line 6. That should be on line 2. Maybe 65% of your laid off tech workers are downplaying their remote work skills when every company now prioritizes remote work capability. You create AI prompts that specifically hunt for these gaps. You tell ChatGPT or whatever LLM you're using, something like this. This person has a CPA, but they mentioned it casually. Rewrite their resume to make the CPA the anchor of every role that they've had. Make it the lens through which we understand their entire career. Front load CPA specific action verbs and keywords that ATS systems at the big 4 firms are scanning for. And you press enter and watch the magic happen. Suddenly, you're no longer writing resumes. You're fixing market position problems. Your clients start noticing something. they're getting callbacks. Some will tell you, this is amazing, we're getting callbacks. Others will just keep reordering. You start selling packages, 3 resume versions for different companies, $199. Maybe you start doing something like resumes plus LinkedIn optimization, $249. You're still using your same AI skills. Your time goes up by maybe 15%, but your revenue per client goes up by 200%. And here's where the real trap starts to appear. Now that you've built something that works, you're making life-changing money. Maybe it's $3,000 to $4,000 a month, 20 to 30 clients you have moving through the system, and you're working maybe, 20 hours a week. Life is good. It's sustainable. It's still quiet. And you'll stay here forever if you don't do the thing that no one else out there teaches. Most people think scale means hiring. Well, that could be true. Hiring means problems. Hiring means management. Hiring means your margins start to disappear, so you stay small. But you're going to hit a ceiling around, $5,000 to $6,000 a month because there's only so many hours in your week, okay? But there is another path, that invisible path I mentioned earlier. You productize. You create a self-serve option. You create a simple type form with branching logic built in. What industry? And if they say tech, you show them the tech resume template with tech-specific ATS prompts. What's your seniority? If they say senior, you start showing senior-specific language patterns and power words. You've essentially automated your intake. You can use something like Zapier, even at the free tier, to automatically send their responses to a Google Sheet. You set up a ChatGPT API call. It's cheap. It's like $2 to $5 per resume in API costs. That API call then automatically populates the first draft. Now customers get a first draft instantly, instant gratification. We've heard that term a lot, right? And maybe you do that for $29. Some will pay for an upgrade. That will be the human review. That will be your personal touch. That's $79 or whatever price point you want to put on it. Some will upgrade to premium. This is 3 versions plus LinkedIn, $199. The time you spend on paying customers just dropped to 5 minutes for the self-serve tier, 15 minutes for the premium upgrade, and you've turned a 45-minute, $79 transaction into 3 product tiers, and you're still using free or very inexpensive tools. Your cost for the self-serve tier, $2 to $5, and I'm really kind of just stretching that out. Your price, $29. Your profit from 100 customers, $2,400, to maybe $2,700. Your time invested in those 100 customers, 4 hours, maybe, right, on the outside. But here's the moral trap, and I think this is where this episode actually will get a little bit uncomfortable. Now that you've built a system that creates resumes faster than you can humanly verify them, the quality it's not necessarily better or worse. It's just untouched, unmeshed with human judgment. A resume written by a pure system can be technically perfect, keyword optimized for ATS, and formatting locked in with 0 errors. But it's also generic in ways that a human could catch. They just get that feeling. Maybe the hair on the back of their neck, kind of tingles a little, their spidey sense goes off. It doesn't have that small specificity that makes someone memorable. It optimizes for the algorithm, not for the human reading it after the ATS passes it right on through. So you have a choice. You can keep the system pure and make $4,000 a month with minimal intervention. You don't have to touch it that much. Or you can add in a human review, your personal judgment call, and drop to $2,500 a month, but know that you're delivering something that actually will move the needle. Most people are going to choose the first path. And I don't think of it as a choice. I think of it as scaling. But it's actually a choice about what you are willing to sell. The people who stay in this business long term, they're going to figure out a hybrid. They automate the first draft. They spend 10 minutes adding in a human layer. That's the specificity I talked about. They're going to add in that narrative thread that's going to make someone stand out, both in the applicant tracking system, as well as to the hiring manager that's on the other side, as well as the HR person who may see it before the hiring manager does. They charge $99 for this full version. Right? 75% of your customers will upgrade to that. Their average customer value will become about $85. Their time per customer, 12 minutes. Realistically, their monthly revenue at a steady state will hit, $4,000 to $5,000, maybe $6,000 on the outside, and they can sleep at night, feeling like they're adding value to their clients' lives. Because here's the thing that nobody mentions when it comes to building an AI business, any of the businesses. The trap is not in the automation. The trap is the permission that it gives you to stop caring. right? It's one of those things where if I set this up and I deliver something of value, I don't have to look at it anymore. I don't have to care about it anymore. And you can make money with a system that works, but doesn't change lives. Or if you're like me and you're still listening this far in, you could build a system that works and actually help someone get the job they need. The job that's going to change the trajectory of their life. One of those choices is going to feel, I don't know, like a business. The other is going to feel like work with meaning. You see what I'm saying? But one of them scales forever because only one of them will not burn out. Yeah, I know some of you are nodding. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, you vibe with me, right? The resumes that change careers aren't really the ones that just kind of check off the boxes. They're the ones that tell a true story better. Right? But you want to have storytelling in your resume. Your job isn't to create the perfect resume, right? Insert magical sound here. Your job is to find the true story in someone's background and translate it for a specific audience. You're like molding that screenplay into the perfect movie. And you want to do this in a language that passes the ATS and lands with a human that matters. The AI is just a tool. You are the translator. You're not invisible because the AI replaced you. You're invisible because your system works so well that clients forget they ever had to think about their resume at all. They went from stuck to hired, from rejection to callback. That's business. That's a business that won't burn out. And the ones making $10,000 a month, well, they're not charging more per resume. They're charging right. They're filtering for clients who will actually upgrade. They're building trust through results, not promises, and they're spending their time on the cases that matter, the ones where the story actually changes the outcome. So here's the choice that's in front of you right now. You can build a resume business. I just explained how easy it is. Or you could build a transformation business that uses resumes as a vehicle. One is a faster way to money. The other is harder to quit. The system doesn't care which one you choose, but you're going to carry. Okay. So before we go any further, I want to make sure you're not doing this alone. And if what we're talking about today is lighting something up inside you, a little sparking a little fire, then maybe, just maybe, there's a real way out of the grind. And you just need to be over on the AI Escape Plan newsletter. Every week, I send out practical AI-powered strategies built specifically for my busy entrepreneurs, busy parents, just like you. Not theory, not hype. Real steps you can take during nap time, during bedtime, or after bedtime, or on Saturday morning before the whole house wakes up. You could call it your roadmap to more money, more freedom, and more of what truly matters, your family. Go to darkhorseinsider.com and get on the list now. It's free, it's focused, and it's built exactly for where you are right now. Okay, let me get back into this. So here's the Whiskered Wisdom for this week. This is a lesson I want you to walk away with today. The AI is a tool, right? It's like a shovel and you're a miner. AI is a tool. You are the translator. Every entrepreneur, every parent listening to this right now has a story worth telling, skills worth selling, experience that someone out there is desperately searching for and they're willing to pay for. The resume business, let's be honest, it's not about resumes. It's about finding the true story in someone's background and translating it to the right audience. That is a human skill. AI just makes you faster and better at delivering it. So here's the one action. I want you to do this today, not someday. So as soon as you're done hearing this, I want you to get out there and do this. Open a free account on carrd.co, CARRD.co, and build your one-page resume service landing page. There you go. One offer, one price, one call to action. Don't overthink it. Don't wait until it's perfect and just click it to go live. Get it live today. Then go find your first client on LinkedIn. Search for those who've posted open to work in the last 7 days, and then send them a personal message. That's it. One page, one message, and get one client. The gold mine is there. You just found your front door, and I just handed you the shovel. So start digging. All right. So here's what we've covered today. Let me kind of wrap this up for you. The AI resume side hustle is real. The tools are free. The demand is massive. We've seen them out there on all those job search platforms. And the difference between the people making life-changing money a month and those making pocket-changing months, I don't really think it's talent. I think it's a system. Build the intake, build the templates, build the tiers, and then add your human layer. And never stop being the translator, because that's the part that AI can never replace. You don't need credentials. You don't need a big-ass following. You need a process, a page, and the courage to send that first message. The AI is the tool. You are the translator. And right now, someone out there needs exactly the story that only you can tell on their resume. If this episode fired you up just a little bit, maybe share it with another person who's ready to stop trading their time for money. And if you haven't already, maybe take a moment and drop us a review. A good review, I hope, but tell us what you really think. It helps more dark horses find the herd, and it really helps this podcast get out there. Now that you've done all that, go ahead and get off this episode and go build something. Think successfully and take action.